Hello. So glad you joined me. It's a pleasure. And it's Sunday. I hope you're enjoying exactly where you are and what you are doing. So I can welcome you to the Advancement Center, to the world of magic and miracles, and to a future that bodes everything beautiful. Yeah. And when I say the world of magic and miracles, I'm referring to the place where troubles melt like lemon drops. Remember that from the song? And seals are broken. As David told us this past week when he said, and I'm going to read a portion because it is so brilliant. If we ever think that anything is sealed, done, finished, endorsed, and mailed, it isn't. Because he tells us, break the seal. We must break the seal over and over again to expose the depths of who and what we really are. After each moment of excavation, because we're digging, a new crust is formed. And we take up residence at this new level, even as we know that there is so much further to go. Know that the life of reactance will, and through the use of music, gently and without fanfare, melt away from our way of living as we are being prepared for breaking the seal once again and going to a new depth of awareness and self-recognition. And that is why we are here, to help in that most important act for all time. Yeah. I came across something so apt and perfect that it fits right here. And here it is. Feel the freedom as you are further released from the hidden restrictions of human programming. True. There is nothing but freedom in your field, but the remnants of early programming are still floating around in the many thousands of hiding places that are used to maintain your so-called natural tendencies. Reminds me of the report cards in elementary school. There will be many new circumstances that show the hidden rules and regulations that you have stored away. And as a result, you will gradually discard each one and accept the freedom that it reveals. Break the seal. The security of your being is no longer based on the forces that are produced by your assessment of being within the bounds of all your rules. You are able to maintain your balance in the universal field without such forces, and there is nothing more exciting than feeling that you are secure because of freedom itself. The need for comparison with known standards disappears when you are in the world of magic and miracles, and there is no need to look for a replacement. As you move above the action of magic and miracles, you become aware of your extended capability and the simplicity of your connection to the various fields that command the magic and bring miracles into your everyday life. The direct connection to your undefined but totally familiar universal fields will take over the flow of your life and will engulf you in an endless exploration that maintains excitement and joy in every moment. Following your spirit has become a normal event, and the need to explain yourself in logical terms becomes a tiny speck on the screen of life that is rarely noticed and never visited. I love discovering that and sharing it with you. Okay. Now, let me just get a little organized here. Okay. I think I just threw away an important paper. No. No. All right. Okay, folks. I think I found it. Yeah. And now it's telling me to read my journal. And for those of you who are new, I write in this book whenever I have the urge to write to my dear friend, Simeon. And this is what I wrote this morning. Dearest Simeon, change is essential. Oh, it is now so utterly clear, except for my writing. Both Robert and David recognize the power of change. David wrote the book, and Robert lived and spoke of change for all of humanity. Dearest Barbara, you're on the right track, and it took many trains of thought to maneuver in the train yard. You are on your way. Love, Simeon. Those few words are so empowering because you know you've made contact, they've been heard, and they've been answered. And that's what I hope to do with all that comes from the center, to advance you in your own knowingness and thinking on the right track. Yeah, it's so important. And I have a few examples that I'm going to share with you. And here is something that David wrote. I don't know where it is. Yes, here is something that David wrote, and I'll ask you a question. Do you ever wonder why you are here? Or what brought you here, other than a biological urge? There's so much more. And here is what David wrote and told us just yesterday. No, the day before. We are changing everything. Never doubt that this is not the truth. What you see budding, you have planted. What you see blooming, you have tended. And the beautiful fruit you see brought to market, which is the new human you have helped to make possible. You have done all this without profit from the common monetary system and with great financial loss to yourself. But your only desire is to see the fruit become the perfection that existed within from the day that it was planted, born into human form. This is your reward, for you live in the world of magic and miracles and are a bonded shareholder in the industry of magic and miracles. So you lack nothing and are always given exactly what you need in every moment of your life. We cannot always see that we are doing these things because until it becomes our primary focus, we are not conscious of this fact. Our focus may still be primarily in this physical plane. But even if that is the case, we are still busy behind the scenes influencing the weather, fertilizing the soil, adding necessary nutrients, and gently moving that soil around so that there is flow and movement. We are and have always been master gardeners of the field of the human entity, each having a unique ability to enhance the growth of what has been planted, whether it is for you to be conscious of. This is as a primary awareness. No, whether it is for you to be conscious of this conscious of this as a primary awareness is up to you and depends solely on your purpose and destiny. But know that no matter what, you are assisting mightily in the upliftment and the growth of that flower known as the human entity. We are not from here, but we are also from here at the same time. There are those among us who are truly not from here, and it is their purpose to nudge us forward to ourselves, to encourage, to support, to show us another way, and so much more. But it is up to us to change the world. For it is our world, and we know how it works, inside and out. And we have been given the ability to change it. There's that magic word, change. And it will be done through your courage to come out into the open and let the world see what you have held back in secret. This is our world, and these are our people, and only we can show them the way to the freedom that has always been staring them in the face. No one from the outside can come in and tell the locals how to live, but a local will hear it from another local in a heartbeat. So hold nothing back, not your love, not your resources, not your gifts, abilities, your light, or your wisdom. For the time has come to set all in captivity free. So we give humanity that special thing that only you can give, that one of a kind thing that belongs only to you. What is it? Well, give it with a smile in your heart, a glow in your eyes, and a laugh in your belly. For this is why you are here. Even though we heard these words from David yesterday, they rang so incredibly true. I felt it needed re-speaking or retelling and becoming an integral part of our being, because that's who we all are. This is a very rich life that we are having here. And as David just framed so clearly for us. I see so vividly that each and every one of us has a purpose for being, to be an example of what we hold dear, what we wish for, or to just be a good friend. Who helped shape your life to what it is today? At this very moment, just close your eyes. See that someone who gave you a nod, a look of approval, a truth that rang true, a gesture, a hand that took your hand. And I immediately go to an image of a little house in Brooklyn, New York, where I live with my father, mother, and brother. And we lived directly across the street from James Madison High School. And my dad was soft-spoken and so loving and so helpful. And he offered to help students through the nightmare of regents. Now, I don't know if they have regents anywhere else other than New York City, but it was the cause for a lot of grief. And it was a statewide exam to categorize their pupils as to who will succeed, who will probably fail, and all those other awful statistics. And we had a front room. It was like a sunroom. You closed it off with French doors. And my dad would meet with the most frustrated students who are living in fear of failing the test that will hold their future in this regents, statewide regents, and you find out where you are in the scale. It was awful. And now, as a mature adult, I said, wait a minute. How can they tell the future of these young ones? They can just decapitate them right there in high school in the second year, and they won't have a future. So my dad let it be known that he's there to help these students. And this one guy was pulling his hair out because he didn't even get to first base of trigonometry. He didn't even know the vocabulary, the language. He was lost. And he came, sat down at the bridge table with my dad. And you know what my dad did? He went all the way back in this student's learning pattern to fractions and discovered that was the error that he never fixed because he didn't understand fractions. So once he had fractions under his belt, he just elevated and he passed. And I'm sure to this day, oh my God, I don't know how many decades ago that was, he's remembering that someone cared enough to open the window and let the light in. Isn't that what we want to do for all of humanity, with everyone who is suffering from lack of food, lack of money, lack of shelter, lack of self-esteem? And we can just welcome them to the magic of being. And feeling the endless miracles that are so ready to make themselves known. So I guess all I have ever wanted to do is to shed the light on what was undecipherable, without reaction or a lecture about lack of brain power, because it's not in the brain that you have your power. And I have here, teach in the native language, not unsuitable lingo. Yeah. When there is a lack and a need for first aid, that's not the time for a lecture of why didn't you? It's like being rushed to the hospital in the ambulance and the guy is saying, who was your first grade teacher? Be appropriate. Help one another. Listen to one another. That's all we have to do. Because when we can listen to another, we can listen to our deepest wishes. Mm-hmm. We certainly get yelled at on the internet, on television, nightly news, media all around. So I just love being exactly who we are, helping people. And as always, numerologically, today is a 5, which means freedom. The number 5 symbolizes curiosity and change, which can be interpreted as having the desire to have adventure and explore new possibilities. So, and then they went on to say angel number means by changes and perhaps a period of self discovery and renewed personal freedom. and growth. Which leads me right to Thursday night. When I think last week I said that Mandar, our instructor, would be in India visiting his mother, and he would be holding class from India. So I was delighted. I was all set. I had my pastels, my paper, and I had Mandar on the screen, and we had a nice conversation, and no one else showed up. No class, no drawing. And I said to myself, I can't do my broadcast without showing something of my creative nature. So I took a photograph that my daughter sent me of her son, my grandson, Kevin's, and Becca's wedding that took place under a tree in a vineyard in Sonoma. And I said, all right, this will be it. So I'm not sure. But there's the tree. I tried. And when I showed it to Robert, he said, well, I recognized the photograph. And I thought, well, that's a good step in the right direction. So there it is. Which leads me to invite you once again to send me your favorite photograph that you wish was a painting. And I'll send it to Mandar and we'll all paint it. And then I'll send it back to you and hope that you enjoy it too. So, okay. So here's my advice to you. Color outside the lines. Listen to music with your whole being as if no one can see you. And stay in strong connection with your Creator, and you will have heard my wish for you, for a perfect life, perfect health, and a remarkable future where your fondest dreams have taken form. Thanks for joining me. I am Barbara.